a fantastic goal! It's taken down, referee playing a good advantage for Spurs. It's to be foul! Oh, save! That's going to have a crack. He is, you know. Oh, I say! Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Yes, good evening. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. What a bit of a roller coaster, eh? Listen, it was one of those. 5 minutes less, and we'd all be having a very different Saturday evening. But Spurs hung in there. We made 3 changes. The changes made a difference. Spurs hung in there. It's not often we can say that. We are now played 5, won 4, drew 1. And let's be fair, that's 4 Premier League wins on the row. We are second in the table, only behind treble-winning Man City. What a good day. Very nearly wasn't a good day. But hey, listen, we take the positives. We win, we move on. And next up is Arsenal. This show isn't about me. This show is about you guys. This is about anybody that would like to come on and have their say. As always, come on, we know the rules. Smash the like. Please subscribe. All of that kind of nonsense. If you don't want to like and don't want to just subscribe, honestly, I don't care these days. Just do what you want to do. But just before you do, I will announcing that I will not be doing YouTube full time after September. Just so everyone can know, I will still be streaming. I will not have shows every single day, but I will go back to what I used to be: Spurs review, watch-alongs, and sporadic shows throughout the week, but I will not be going full time. It is very draining. It's very, very difficult, and it is. Listen, it is what it is. My circumstances have changed, so I will not be going. I will not be full time, but I'll be doing as many shows as I still can for you. But things happen. Spurs 2, Sheffield United 1. What a great comeback! I'm going to put the link in the chat. When I put the link in the chat, please stick to the rules. You must have clothes on. Bear with me. Excuse me. You must have clothes on. You must have your name in. You must be somewhere quiet, please. If you've got like 15 kids around you, or you're in a coffee shop or something, please don't ring in because we won't be able to hear. And hopefully you've got internet. So please call in. This show is very much the call in about Tottenham's win today. So please, if you are going to call in, please have a point about Tottenham Hotspur. Otherwise, it defeats the point of it being a Spurs Sheffield United call-in show. So big up to each and every one of you. The link is in the chat, and I'll go to the comments in a second. But before we do, big up to everyone. Bear with me 1 second. What's happening here? Why is that not? Sorry, 1 second. I don't know what's happened here. Scroll across the bottom. Yeah, that's what I want. Ticker. Show. There we go. Don't know what was going on there. But listen, I'm going to come to you for your comments. Please, if you would like to come on, some I might bring 2 or 3 on at once. Others will just be 1 at a time. And also, we have got Newcastle United versus Brentford at St. James's Park is live right now. So big up to each and every one of you. Big up. Let me bring on Yuvraj as a Liverpool fan. Are you coming on to talk about Tottenham?
Yes. I am, man. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Just checking. What did you want to say about today's game with Sheffield United?
I watched most 3 games, 2 games at the same time. So, and United obviously lost, but that's another point. But look, Tottenham are impressing me in terms of I know that will kind of dramatic. I can't lie. So being a Spurs fan is stressful. I can understand this, the stress being a Spurs fan is very stressful, I can tell, because you lot made that look so dramatic. I know you won, but you made that look so dramatic. You lot had the control. I just think you didn't have that finishing today overall, but you got the win. And now, look, Arsenal for me is a test. If you get a draw, I think it's a good result, especially at the Emirates, because I think if you get a draw, the confidence is rising right now. We'll see what Arsenal do tomorrow versus Everton, which is going to be the major one. But Tottenham are impressing me. Tottenham are impressing me right now. Can't lie. I mean, and
are we impressing you more than Liverpool are impressing you?
I mean, we have more depth. I'm worried about your depth more than anything because just say you get a Romero injury. I'm very worried. You have to play Dyer then, and that's the concerning. For me, look, you're doing all right now, but your depth is the worry for me. Like that's for me the way worry for you guys. I think if, for example, if one of your midfielders get injured, you're gonna have to play Skip or someone. If one of your centre backs injured, play Dyer. But you lot have impressed me. I think you lot have probably been one of the most impressive teams to watch right now. And I think, look, expectations for Tottenham are not trophies for me. I don't think you lot should be. As much as Tottenham have not won a trophy and people make fun of it, at the same time, you lot are in a mess. Originally were in a mess. And I think the aim is, if you get top 4, I think it's a good season. Because you look at the other teams. I'm looking before the season. Right now, we can judge, but United were looking decent before the season. I mean, I know there's some good players before the season. So, look, I think for me, if Spurs get top 4, it's a good season. And but I think you lot are the most impressive team to watch right now. But for me, the key is the injuries, the depth, because you're going to get injuries in the middle of the season. That'll be the main test. I think Arsenal is the main test coming up next week. But for me, look, the question is, when you get injuries, what's going to happen? I mean, I expect you guys to sign someone in January. So, but yeah, overall, look, Tottenham are impressive.
Let me ask you one question before I go to the next person, Fresh. Are you worried about coming to White Hart Lane in 2 weeks?
Yeah, of course. Well, I am because I can't lie. I mean, you lot, man. I mean, look, if Trent's back for that game, that changes everything. But if Trent's not back, I think I could see a draw. If Trent is back, I think we could beat you guys. But it won't be easy. I'm worried though, because look, I mean, we'll see how Gravenberch does, and we'll see, But if I had to say, I am worried. But look, we're the mentality monsters. Where we're playing, we're doing well, but we'll see how that game goes because we got who have we got next? Then we got I forgot. Then we've got West Ham. Or we got West Ham first, and then you guys. So
you got West Ham at home.
Yeah, and then we got Europa League midweek, and then West Ham. So that's really tough. But I'm nervous for you guys. But we'll see how that is. We'll see injuries by then. We'll see everything will change. But I'm nervous right now for Tottenham. Yeah.
Well, listen, Yuvraj, thanks for coming on and telling us that you're scared of Spurs. It's nice to hear these nice things about our club. Listen, thanks for coming on, dude. And I'm sure I'll see you on the next calling show, right?
Yep. You probably will. Yeah.
Big up to you, man. Take care. Have a good evening. Big up everybody in the chat. I'm going to go to Corey in 1 second. But people, you've tuned in for a post-match calling show. No one after Corey. There's no one in the chat. Get yourselves in there if you want to have your say. This is what the whole point of these shows are. So let's go to Corey. Big up to you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, so I can't complain. Heart rate starting to calm down after that match. There was a lot of effing and blinding at my pad. Every time Kulu would run into the box, I'm like, why? Just pass the ball. You have a pass available to use it. No, run, lose ball, run, lose ball.
I just want to say before we start anything, your wall, the colour of your wall, it looks like Perchy's mum's spare bedroom where Perchy goes and stays. The old plum wall.
This was the ex-missus's choice to paint the room this bloody colour, mate. So, mind my language. Yes. Num nuts here did all the decorating, putting all the flooring down, all the carpets, all the wooden flooring, not together anymore.
Yeah, well, listen.
Expect me to leave the flat? Yeah, right after I put all the work in. No.
Right, listen, let's get to football. What do you want to say about the game? What is it you want to talk about?
It was a bit slow from the beginning. I mean, we were making their goalkeeper look like prime Buffon with the amount of shots he was saving, It was a bit hit and miss. It was just so weird to see like that amount of shots like taken out a keeper and not one would go in. The keeper was on point. Got annoyed at their time wasting. I was getting so frustrated by like how their goalkeeper wasn't sent off by the end of the match. I don't know. Consistently wasting time. Then you had some of our lot giving it, but not a lot. It's just frustrating to see that in the game. And now that they're starting to add the extra time on for all this deliberate time wasting tactics now and like sort of like injuries and that, it's a fresh thing for the game for it to go forward. So how many games have teams lost where not enough added time has been put into the match through all this like time wasting and crap. It's just it's
Well,
fresh
I
to
suppose
see.
the good thing is it's now going to mean that teams that want to adopt the tactic that Sheffield United did in terms of, I mean, they went down at every opportunity. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand teams like that need to do all the kind of dark arts and the tricks, but it is good that the officials are saying, well, okay, do it. Cool. I'm just going to add it on at the end. And ultimately it was their undoing.
I just want the officials to be consistent as well. The referee was a bit off it today, I mean, the amount of yellow cards shown, I'm surprised how both teams didn't end up finishing with like 5-6 men left on the pitch.
It was racking up, wasn't it? How do you think the referee got on today?
Shocking. My 3-year-old could do a better job. And he's off for a meal with the other family at the moment, So even in VAR, he's sitting there eating chicken nuggets and chips, probably eyeing him. Could still do a better job.
Yeah, it was very, very strange, wasn't it? The ref didn't seem to let the game flow, seemed to be very niggly, lots of cards telling off the bench. And then I think there was like a minute where we were meant to take a corner, but didn't for some reason. And everyone was blaming everyone else. It felt like we had 22 Bruno Fernandezes on the pitch, all moaning at the same time.
It's what gets me with the Maddison. It should have been a penalty. He got wiped out in the box. That's a clear penalty. How the VAR can't see that he got wiped out from behind is just beyond me.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I mean, most of the refereeing this season so far has been pretty on point. Apart from probably this game and the game I watched a couple of weeks ago, the Man U game.
Yeah,
it's just one of them things. It's not consistent enough for the way this technology is coming in. Now, I want the referees to be protected like they are in rugby. Like, you'll fuck off my language. You go over there. You go over there.
You can't come on and anybody, please don't come on and swear. You get me demonetized immediately.
Sorry, bud.
Immediately.
I mean, I want the referees to have that kind of power like they do in rugby. You go there. I'll sort this out. Stop crowding me, otherwise you're going to go to the sin bin. Now, this is what I'd like to see in football. Maybe a sin bin for 10 minutes. A yellow card and sin bin. You get put in the sin bin for 10 minutes. That should be fun.
Yeah,
but then that's just like fancy football kind of thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't imagine that football will start adding that as well. And I feel that they've really convoluted what is a very easy game with easy rules, but it is what it is. Listen, before I bring the next person on, and by the way, people, we've got another person after Corey, but not many people. You're tuning into a fan phoning show. This is everybody's chance to say what you want to say. The link is in the chat. Anything you want to say, Corey, before I go to Chris?
Well, there's a lot going on with Richie, isn't there? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's world class, but to get that goal the way he did was spot on the money. He could have written it better this week, but then he's still a bang average player.
Listen, players can score a goal without everyone losing their mind over it, right? Like, I mean, in the moment we lose our mind over it for the game, but already in my YouTube comments, not in here, my YouTube comments, I've already looked in between my last stream and this stream, and all these people going, "You owe Richie an apology."
Oh no, you don't. You can have an opinion on a player if he's not good enough.
Why do I owe an apology? But
I think the one that got me a few days ago is you were doing a chat with one of the other guys. I think it was Kuva that someone got called a racist for having an opinion on a football player.
Yeah.
It's not racist. It's not racist when you're having an opinion on a player. It's not. You're not demonizing the person. You're questioning him as a player, not him as a person, is it? And then those kind of stupid comments make me laugh. It's like, what's the IQ of these people? I mean, I've got a fridge that's probably got better IQ than some of these people,
Yeah, I know. So people are like, listen, the internet allows people to say whatever they like without any ramifications. But listen, Corey, I am going to move over to Chris. So listen, thanks for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll speak to you soon.
Have a good one.
All right, mate.
Doodle.
Take care. Right, everybody, I am putting the link in the chat. I'm going to go to Chris in just a few seconds, but the link is there. Let's be having ya, as Delia would say. Chris, big up. Welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Savva. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks. I'm not too bad. It's been it was a lot of tension during that second half there, but we got the win.
Definitely. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, to be honest.
I hear you, mate. I hear you. What do you want to say about the game? What do you want to talk about? Anything you want?
I mean, just we were like the first half. We were just really, I feel like lethargic a bit, and we got to a really slow start, and then it doesn't help with all the in my opinion, poor officiating.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, like, I know you had your say on the potential penalty where Madison got brought down, but if they're going to give a penalty against Son with that weak foul in the Brentford match,
Yeah,
I mean, why isn't that a penalty in this one?
Yeah, I think that is most fans' frustration, isn't it, Chris? I think it's the lack of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it feels like nobody knows the rules anymore. Like it just feels like every decision is a case by case scenario rather than
exactly
this is the rule or this is the rule. But for me, look, was it a penalty? I mean, he caught him. I think the theatrical nature in which Maddison went down probably didn't help, but you've seen them given, seen them not. What did you make of the? I mean, we were saying at half time in the stream that we thought that they'd get a kick up the backside and come out firing in the second half. We definitely had a lot more of the ball in the second half, but
we did.
We just didn't quite manage to create the clear-cut chances. It was a lot of snatch chances. What did you make of it?
I mean, the amount of it, the energy that we put in trying to get all those chances was great. Just some of the chances were just really not that great that they got. But I mean, just to get that comeback win in extra time was just went from low to high so quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, did this really happen? And I went to like shortly after the match was over, I went to check the tables on the Premier League website, and the table on the site had us with a loss. I was like, what? How did they get that? And as far as I know, it still hasn't been corrected. So
yeah. It's strange, isn't it? I mean, look, I'll ask you this and get you to answer it before I move on, Chris. I mean, when you look at Spurs in seasons gone by, it felt like that was very much a game that we would have probably lost or maybe snatched the draw, but not quite won. But credit to the boys and credit to Postecoglou for forcing that through and getting the 3 points, right?
Yeah. I mean, once they got the substitutes on, they had a lot more sense of urgency because before that, it looked like the players were just getting like tired, but once the subs came on, and as much as I'm not a big fan of Richie, I was happy to see him get that goal.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to see anyone grab a goal, right?
Yeah, especially with everything that he's been going through mentally. So I just want to, as a Spurs fan, just because I don't think he's a great player, I want to see the best for him. I want to see him do well, and I just hope he gets all the help that he needs.
Yeah. Listen, I completely agree with you. There's a huge difference between what we think of someone as a footballer and what they need in their personal life and their mental health. So completely agree with you. But listen, Chris, I've got a few people now backing up. So I will say thank you very much. Listen, thank you for always supporting the channel. I see you in the comments. So big up to you and thank you for watching and joining in.
Right. Bye.
Cheers, mate. I'm going to ask. There's a few people backstage now. It's up to them. If they don't mind, I'll bring you all on. We can have a panel show rather than waiting. If everyone can hear me, if you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, then I'll know whether people are happy with that. It looks like everyone's happy with that. Yanni, are you happy with that? I can see it there. There we go. Okay, let me add everyone to the show then. There we go. I'll add everyone to the show. Big up, guys. How are we all doing?
Good, man.
Good. That weren't bad, was it? That weren't too bad.
50-50.
Is everyone having a beer? Is that what's going on here in this screen? Is everyone drinking beer?
Not many. I've got Pepsi. I'm
Pepsi
halal.
beer.
I can't touch alcohol.
Oh, mate, listen, I don't touch it either anymore. Guys and girls, let's start. I just feel a bit wiped out, if I'm honest, after that 90 minutes, 102 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Perchy, let me come to you. You're my son. Let me come to you. Did you think we deserved that? Was that a deserved win? Not that it matters, but on the basis of play.
Good question. It's a great question. Listen, does it matter if we deserved it or not? No, but listen, we won the game. Oh dear God! Honestly, I was. You know that feeling of just your energy just sapping away throughout that game. You're like, oh, here we go, same old Tottenham. The talks in my chat during the watch along going, the manager of the month curse is real.
Yeah.
And then I tell you what, one person you and I have been massively critical of, Richarlison, the redemption of Richarlison today. Listen,
The redemption.
that's the title of my watch. That's my title of my match reaction. If you want to go and watch it, Richarlison's redemption. But no, but on a serious level, like, listen, the one thing I will say, people are going, oh my God, he's bringing Richarlison on. We're trying to win the game. And listen, I don't care who it is. Listen, he's gone and turned up when we needed it to. We've been critical of this guy, massive, and loads of people have.
Listen, I'm still critical of him. By the way, I'm not gonna change. I'm still critical of him, Perchy.
I know you are. But my point is when it mattered, he turned up. Players didn't turn up today. I think we kind of had that really weird feeling of it was okay. They're going to put 11 people behind the ball and go break us down, and we couldn't do it. Pop shots were going. I thought Solomon had a good game today. I thought he was all right. Kulusevski wins the game, but I thought most of it I was going, come on, Kulu, like do something a little bit different. Take a player on. We were talking about Pedro Neto because we were watching the game earlier, and we're going, you need Kulusevski to be like that. Get in between, jinking and out. He wasn't doing it. But listen, does it matter? We won the game. Cheers, guys.
Big up to you. Listen, first of all, big up to Perchy. I think that's 2 days in a row busting out a 1960s, 1970s t-shirt. I absolutely love it, Perchy. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, all right, Mark. Only because you're from the 1960s, mate. It's all right. Don't worry. I know you are. I know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying. Listen, just quickly before we move on. Big up to Blaine Dev. Blaine Dev's in the chat and has gifted 5 channel memberships. Blaine Dev, you've either won the lottery or you're just too generous after securing the auction for the James Maddison shirt. You have gifted a membership to Spurs King, to BT, to Wilson T, PB and Jam, and Ark Fraser. So 5 channel memberships. Big up to you. And if that doesn't get everybody to smash that like button, nothing will. And please subscribe if you can. Be much appreciated. Guys, I'm not going to go round. Everyone can just have this chat. Otherwise, I'll be forgetting which order I've gone in. Let's start with the negative. We'll move to the positive. Not the best first half. It felt very much like it was a laboured first half, almost like a first half. You know when you've normally played in Europe in the week and your players can't quite get up for it. Would that be fair, or am I being harsh?
Yeah.
Well, lethargic in that respect.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty lethargic first half. Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
very lethargic.
Well, I was struggling with the stream, so I was a bit in and out. I was a bit in and out watching it, but like it was, it was like we huffed and puffed, and that was about it. There was nothing else really going on.
Mark, do you know what it was? Do you know what the first 2 minutes of that game said everything for me? We had the ball, and Romero and Van der Ven were passing it between each other, and I went, "Yeah, this is going to be one of those games, isn't it? Yeah. It's going to be one of those games." Someone just put in the comment, big shout out, by the way, to Brennan Johnson. I mean, his nose was offside, and he with that chance. I mean, it was so minimal, right? So big shout, because I tell you what, when he came on, I went, you know what he's brought on this pitch? Energy. He came on with energy when he came on. I went, I like this kid from the energy.
He also had that attacking mindset as soon as he came on. He wanted to go and score. It was awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it was I thought everyone in my chat, listen, I thought it was brilliant because the difference in a chat between 10 minutes is absolutely frightening. It's the passion of football fans, right? Leading up to, after they scored, it was, oh my God, Spursy, nothing's changed. Daniel Levy this, Daniel Levy that, like Daniel Levy was playing. We've got no depth. We've got nothing to bring off the bench. Postecoglou, bad management. He's not made any substitutions. 10 minutes later, he's made 3 substitutions. We're 2-1 up, and everyone's going, oh my God, we're brilliant, and Richarlison deserves to start games. And I find it mad how football fans, we get lost in the emotion. But let me come to you, Yanni. I mean, Richarlison, I thought was good for the last. I thought he was perfect to bring on at the end there because we were getting so many crosses into the box. And before that, we had no one that could head a ball. We had no one.
I was just about to say that. I feel like in the beginning, in the first half, even the second half, corner after corner, corner after corner, we don't have the guys to go just win the ball. That aggressive mindset. I mean, that's the one thing about Kane. Like when we had him last year with the set pieces, it was always Kane getting behind those. Kane getting those goals, but you're right. When Richie came on, that's one thing about him. He'll put his head through. And honestly, I could be wrong, but I don't remember a goal where Richie's not used his head for Tottenham. I think it's always been his head. The 2 goals against Marseille, the goal against Liverpool, the goal against Fulham in the Cup. I think he's only scored headers. So that's a good addition to have for this.
So the 80th minute of every game that we need a goal is Richie's time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right. He knows how to head the ball. Say what you want. Like he can head the ball. It's a good addition for us. And I even think his hold-up play too. I think he had good hold-up play. He was the assist to Decky, that was really good. He saw that little needle. He threaded it right to him. And honestly, yeah, I mean, with everything he's going through, and I think this is a huge moment for him. I really do. I think he's only going to get better. I think if he puts the right effort in, he could be a good sub. You could just install in little pieces like that, 80th minute, 75th minutes when you need something. Like I think that's the perfect thing for him. Right now, I agree with you though on the Decky, but I know we scored the goal, and honestly, that's great. We all loved it, whatever. But he's very predictable. It honestly pisses me off too. Like it's very frustrating. The cutbacks, the crosses. It's just like it's so easy to defend. But no, I definitely agree with the Richie. I mean, it was great to see the header. The whole building, when you could see from TV, was a very electric. It was just great, and those 3 points are huge. And I will say one other thing too, before I give it to somebody else. That game reminded me. I know it's very early days. I know it is very, very early, but that game reminded me kind of Arsenal last year against those like late comebacks that they had in dramatic fashion at home, where the whole crowd.
Bournemouth at home.
Yeah, Bournemouth, whatever. Those results where you were just like, wow. And I agree, Savva, too. You don't see that last year from Tottenham. You don't see that the year before. And I know it's early, but the air just feels different. I mean, I don't think you would expect Tottenham to win that game years ago or even last year, whatever. So I'm very excited going into the North London Derby. For the first time in a while, I think, you know what? Maybe you can nick a draw. Maybe you can. I don't think it's that far-fetched to say. And if you do nick a draw, then I think you have to look at the expectations of, okay, 1 game a week. If the squad stays healthy, I don't see why you can't get top 4. I'm sorry, especially with Manchester United looking terrible. Chelsea.
Wow.
That's just my honest thoughts. Everyone can say what they want, but I really believe, who knows what could happen.
Yeah.
Not interested in top 4. Not interested in it. Just give me a cup. A cup.
Hang on. Can I just ask, why does getting top 4 mean that you can't get a cup as well? Why do we always do this as football fans, Mark? Why is it? Yeah, forget that. We want that. Why? If you look at the FA Cup, who it's been won by in the last 20 years, it's more often than not the teams that finish in the top 4. So why can't we do both, Mark?
There's no reason why we can't. But if you give me the choice of a cup or the top 4, I'm taking a cup every time. It's been 15 years. I'm like 50 odd. I'm like 50 odd. And we used to win cups for fun when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, I agree. I remember when I was a kid, we won cups. I remember it, Mark.
Anyway, I've got one question for you, Savva, while I'm here.
Good. Go on.
No. Just one question. The 4th of November, my local team are away at your local team. And I'm thinking of going.
What, at Bromley?
No.
Dartford?
No, Dagenham.
Dagenham? That's not my local team.
Dartford.
Dartford. Oh yeah, Dartford's not too far from me. Yeah.
Dartford.
Well,
Yeah,
if you go, let me know and I'll come meet you.
Yeah, well, I've got a phone number for you. I stole it off one of the group chats we were in like ages ago.
No worries. Just don't give it out to people. Can you imagine the phone number got on the internet?
No. I've never texted you or nothing like that. But I've still.
That's all right. You can text me, Mark. It's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the trolls on the internet. I don't want to wake up to 100 death threats tomorrow morning. Do you know what I mean?
No. I don't hate on you, Savva. I love your show.
No, not you. I know you too. I'm just saying. All right. So listen, Yanni's started this off. Mark's carried it on. Yanni's saying no reason why not top 4. Now, before I go to you guys at the top, Abdi,
yeah,
we know who you support, right? When Yanni said top 4, yeah, you went, wow. Why? Why is it so crazy to think Tottenham could get top 4?
Well, I was trying to pay attention to both the Man United and Tottenham games, so yeah, it was fun laughing at Man United, but knowing that Tottenham didn't at least draw, that was annoying. But the reason why I don't think they'll get top 4, at least not this season, is that the rot that Postecoglou had when he took over, that's going to take years to sort out. And he's had a great start, but it's going to get much, much harder. And then we'll see what he's really made of, because you've got Arsenal, and whatever happens, whether you're doing well, whether you're doing not, whenever you go to the Emirates, something always goes wrong. And if that were to change, then I would look at it different.
Listen, I agree with you. There's a lot that needs to there's a lot that needs to be sorted out at Tottenham for sure. I think we all acknowledge that as fans. But at the moment, are there 4 or 5 teams that stand out to you right now? Yeah, things change. Are there 4 or 5 teams right now where you go, Spurs are worse than that 5? Because it's 5th that will get you Champions League. So really? Are there 5 teams better than Tottenham Hotspur right now is the question I'm asking.
No way.
I had no clue that 5th got you UCL football. But City, despite our poor performances up to this point, Arsenal.
Right, City, Arsenal.
Newcastle.
How are Newcastle better than us? There's the question I'll ask you. Based on what?
Well, I'm more likely to trust Newcastle to get a result than Tottenham. But that's more my opinion, and I'm happy to be wrong on that.
No, cool. But listen, my job here is to challenge people, right? Based on what? Like, I'm asking based on what? Newcastle so far this season have played 4 games, lost 3 of them.
They've had a bad start.
Sure. So already we've got a gap at, obviously they're playing right now. They're 0-0 after 35 minutes. But why are Newcastle? Huh?
Who are they playing?
They're playing at home to Brentford. 0-0. Why are they better than us? Why are they better than us? That's what I need to know.
Well, I'd say they've got a more settled squad. I don't know if Eddie Howe's a better manager than Postecoglou. I mean, it's way too early to make that comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I just think Newcastle have more individual quality than Tottenham, and I think that might carry them through. They had a bad start last year. Like, they didn't win many games in the first bit of the season.
Well, let me put that on to some of the Spurs fans then.
I'm target practice for these lot.
No, listen. Listen. You've brought it up. We'll talk about it.
Go for it.
If we're going to say that Newcastle have more quality than Spurs, let me come to you, Dan, at the top. Newcastle more quality than Tottenham in their team?
So far, no. I trust Tottenham with, if Ange gets his way later games, I think Spurs will be unbeatable when it comes to Newcastle versus them. So I back Ange. Maybe I'm a cynic because I'm Australian, but yeah, no, Aussie pride, mate, all day.
Let me ask that, Rinketic. Welcome to the show. Newcastle, I mean, listen, I like Newcastle got a good team. I think what Newcastle did last year was brilliant with a settled 11. But if I look at our back 4 now, if I look at our midfield now, if I look at our forward line now, are Newcastle better than us 1 to 11?
Not. I was going through like the squad right here.
Mm-hmm.
There are like a few players that I would 100% like in our team. For example, Tonali. But on the other hand, they also have like Champions League and other cups. And I don't think they have a good squad enough, and they might get injuries and all kind of stuff. While we play like once a week or once every second week. So we can more or less play the same 11 unless someone goes on a big injury. And it's like what you always say, it's about consistency. If you change someone, it won't be like consistent, but we will have the same consistent 11 like week in, week out.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask them, Mark. Let me come to you. I mean, I think the key thing for me is most people expected a win today. Now, it wasn't the straightforward victory. I think. I mean, I thought we'd score 4. Lots of people were talking about 5s and 6s, and it wasn't that straightforward. But I think most of us said before the game, this isn't the game for me that's going to show just how far we've come. Arsenal back to back with Liverpool, surely, Mark. That's the litmus test. That's the benchmark, isn't it, of what we do in the next 2 games?
It will.
Oh, sorry, were you talking me?
Oh, sorry, Mark at the bottom. So I forgot we got 2 Marks on. Sorry. All these Mark.
Me.
Mark spelt with a C, not with a K. My bad.
You're right. I mean, it is going to be the test for us because, of course, we're talking about, teams that are in and around always the top 6 or top 5. But I think sometimes we beat ourselves up a little bit too much, like when we compare our side now, even last year, because people still forget that Arsenal last season, that was the first time they finished above us. And when you think of the last 3 or 4 years, as Tottenham fans, we're saying we had a completely shit side and we still finished above them. And Arteta's been building this side, but they're playing Champions League football again. We keep forgetting that they came out of Europe quite quickly. They came out of the cups as well. So they only then had 1 game a week to try and concentrate on the league and still didn't win it. So let's not keep just being ourselves, because the thing I like about Ange is that, I mean, he said it in his last press conference. It's about building this squad. I mean, he took a risk as well, by getting rid of defenders and saying, look, I'd rather have no defenders than one that I want to get rid of anyway.
Yeah.
Which I think is ballsy. So, the test will come. The test is going to be, going to the Emirates. We haven't got that much of a bad record there. So we'll wait and see. But, I mean, after today's result, I mean, as people have probably said already, that definitely in years and years gone by, we would have just went, you know what, it's going to be 1-0, or, let's just get a draw. But I just love what I see is the fight, which I don't know how he's done it, that is instilled in some of these players to just keep carrying on and keep playing the same way as well. We didn't even change the way we played. We just changed players and freshened it up. So
I hear you. Elias, let me ask you this. Welcome to the show. When you look at Postecoglou, this guy, yes, it's 5 games. I don't know how many. We're going to have to keep doing this every time. Like, it's only 5, it's only 6, it's only 7, it's only 8. We're going to have to keep doing that forever and ever. But lots of people didn't want this guy in the summer. Lots of people were, oh my God, he's from Celtic. Like, oh, it's a pointless league. Celtic win it. Oh, he's Australian. He's never managed in a top league. He's only managed the Australian national team and in Japan. He's very quickly, isn't he, putting a lot of people in their place in terms of his management, substitutions, style of play, determination. Well, what do you make of his first 5 games as manager?
Okay, I must say that I stand corrected. because I was kind of skeptical about this particular manager. That when we hired him, I think I was one of them. Like I was saying that this may not work for us, and maybe it will take time. Like first thing that I think I won't say that I was like extremely negative, but I say that it will take time. Only in the time will tell us, and then only then we'll start seeing like big results, and we'll start seeing some form of like a team philosophy or the mentality change within the team. But if you just look at the 5 games that we have played, for instance, like today's game, I was kind of skeptical. Even at today's game, I was wondering like the low block, and then that they scored first, and I was like, after that we will look shattered. Like that's what usually happens to Spurs when the other team scores first. You have less time left, then we seem to lose that mentality within our squad, and then we usually don't win games. But I think today, what I saw from him, like definitely, it was something that really changed my personal perspective on Ange Postecoglou. Like this guy has something special about him. I'm not gonna lie that he can change. He can bring in some form of energy, and he can maintain that energy from the beginning of the game till the end. I don't think that we played like a really bad game. Yes, I was saying in some of the chats that, oh, okay, we are not scoring and we are not clinical enough. But I think if you then overall, as I reflected on the game, I realized that actually the game was not bad. We had chances. We were playing really well. It's just another team who just took a goal from us, and yeah, we were ahead of them the entire game. But then that's where the difference is, that the mentality in the team has clearly changed.
Yeah.
Something that he has changed is about.
They
the
look
mentality
happy
of
as
the
well,
players.
don't they, Elias? They look happier.
Yes, they do.
Like everyone
Yeah.
seems to be on the same hymn sheet, and I just never felt that. I've not felt that for years. Like I'll be honest, I've not felt that since the. I didn't even feel that. People have a go at me. I didn't even feel that in the season we made the Champions League final. I felt that. Well, if you look at that
Same
year,
here. I
if you look
agree.
at that year, it was a really good half. If everyone listen, we're being truthful about this. The first half of that season was really good, and
You
the
got lucky
second
to
half,
got the top 4 that year.
yeah, the second half of that season was really bad, masked by a Champions League run. But what was that? That was 2018, 2019. So for me, this is the happiest I've seen everyone since 2017, 2018 as a club.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone can run with that, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Right,
I've been watching
Soren, you
since
came on
Ange
stream.
joined Spurs. So I'm only kind of new to the Spurs party here, but from an outsider's perspective, Ange has always been underestimated.
Do you support Spurs,
Yes.
Dan? Then
Yes,
you're not
I
an
do.
outsider. This isn't an outsider's perspective.
Well,
You're one of us.
I guess compared to previous, last managers or Spurs in the past,
Don't worry, man. We're all Spurs fans. We're all Spurs fans. It don't
Yeah.
matter how long you've supported Spurs.
Fans are fan, but I didn't know what people would think. I've only been following recently, I guess. But I like the fact that Ange is underestimated, and he will do some crazy things as an Australian, and it might not work out, but you've just got to give him time. And as he said before, he's still got his first season, and it's not 100% yet. He's got to have more time to get the players in the next window or two. But honestly, so far so good. And there was some doubting in the earlier minutes here or there on this match, but Ange trusts his players, and the subs he made were the right ones, and Richie got a goal. That'll do his confidence a well of good. And Kulusevski made up for his poor gameplay with a goal. So, but yeah, no, not to try and go on a side tangent here, but yeah, that's just what I wanted to add there.
Yeah, no, listen. We can all go on side tangents. It's what we're here for. Let me quickly come to you, Soren. I'll ask you a question, then we'll have a free for all, not a fight. We'll have a chat. So not like a Royal Rumble or anything. Soren, we said at the beginning of the show that those are the games that historically we tend to lose, and I think you can't blame anyone, right, for when that goal went in what the 4th, 75th minute, something like that. I don't think any Spurs fan could be blamed for having that nagging, Spursy, Dr. Tottenham type feeling in their stomach. But we reacted so well, didn't we? We really, really did react.
Yeah, I mean, I was on a little bit with Alan earlier, and I didn't lose belief that we would come back. you were starting to worry a little bit. But look, today's one of those games where it could have gone horribly wrong, and so many times in the past it has. And today we showed we're a different team. We battled, we believed in ourselves, and like somebody said a few minutes ago, Ange has brought a belief to the team that we haven't seen since Poch. We haven't seen our footballers enjoying the football they're playing. We haven't seen the fans enjoying the football they're seeing. This is the difference between the football now. I mean, somebody said on a stream either this morning or yesterday that they haven't seen any difference between Ange ball and Conte ball. I don't know what team they've been watching. You know,
Wow.
it's mild. You know,
they must be blind.
Exactly. You know, it just the difference between the team now and 6 months ago is just phenomenal. And you know, I mean, you know, Savva, that I'm one that gets carried away quite easily. You know, I'm very.
It's why I love you, Soren. It's why I love you so much.
I'm very optimistic about our team, and I just can't help but get giddy at the moment. You know, if you're not getting excited about this team and the football we're playing now, whether we win, lose, or draw, it's just exciting, and it's only going to get better. And like somebody said, next stop is Woolwich Wanderers.
Yeah. Let's move to that then, people. Let's move to that, right? Look, I think that the question that was asked to me before the game from Haz, who obviously big up Haz, who did the watch along with me, was how disastrous would sorry, that was nearly a word. Sorry, I nearly got that word right. Sorry. How disastrous would it be to not beat Sheffield United with Arsenal and Liverpool coming up? And I said, well, I think it'd be really disastrous because you've got to win those games, right? You've got to beat these teams that come up. We could be sitting here, guys, having a very different conversation if that game hadn't had 12 minutes of injury time, right? We could be having a different conversation, but we're not. We're having a good conversation. We're second in the league.
Speak for yourselves. You're happy. I'm not.
Look, listen, Abdi in there is the Arsenal.
Living the moment,
Arsenal.
I'm Sheffield United. You guys had one job.
And we did it. We had one job and we did it. We won. We won.
I represent Sheffield United. They had one job.
By the way, I don't know if anybody noticed that 12 minutes of extra time was thoroughly deserved. They were wasting way too much time during the game. The ref was giving them way too much leniency. I think that we could have been easily 2-0 or 3-0 up by the extra time. Like there were two decisions of penalties that didn't go our way. There was like some of them should have gone our way, but still that this game, like the ref gave them way too many advantages. I don't know.
I was expecting a 3 minute. I was expecting 3 minutes. So
them penalties would have been very soft to have been given.
Yeah,
very soft.
No, there were two in the first half. They were harsh.
Okay, let me ask you a question then on the penalty. Let's talk about that penalty decision. So the main one in the game that I can remember would have been Maddison in the first half. Right.
Definitely.
For me, this falls into the who said that? Was that you, Mark with a C?
Yeah, that was me. Definitely.
Mark with a C, right.
Without a doubt.
Let me go round without reasoning, just a yes or a no. And then we'll have the discussion. I'll start with Dan in the top, depending on which way you're looking at the screen, in the top left for me. I'm saying top left for me and then pointing top right for me. I'm sorry.
I'm in Australia.
It's so
it's backwards
weird.
right away for me, mate.
There you go. It's backwards. He's Australian, so yeah, it's that way.
Right, and it's a yes. It's a yes.
Okay. Right, Dan. Yes on a penalty. Mark, was that a penalty on Maddison?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yanni.
Nope.
No. Abdi, was it a penalty on Maddison?
Seen it given.
That's not an answer. That's not an answer. Yes or no?
Nah, not quite.
Okay. Mark has said definite. Yeah, you've gone definite. Soren?
No.
Elias?
Yes.
Okay. So who said yes? Was Mark, Elias?
No, I didn't say. I didn't say.
No, hang on. There's 2 marks. There's
Sorry.
2 marks. How are you forgetting
I
that?
said yes.
So Mark, Elias, Dan, and did someone else say yes?
It was 4 against 3 for.
All right, and I'm going to go with no way. Like listen, I'll say this. I always try and remove my Spurs hat. If that penalty had been given against Van der Ven or Romero, how would you feel? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that makes it right. Would you?
I would still say penalty.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would have said a penalty.
It's just the way it was. I mean, maybe it's just me being backwards as an Aussie here, but the way he lashed at his leg was enough for me. And the commentators spoke about it.
You could tell with Maddison's reaction, he didn't 100% feel it.
I agree. And he also
I don't know.
You can tell by the players' reactions. And he
Yes.
got up and had a bit of a smirk as though to say, it could have been.
He fell to the ground.
Yeah, maybe I was watching the feet more than the flying jump on the ground quickly action. But
Yeah, but
it would have been soft.
Too much FIFA, I guess, for
It
me.
was soft. It was soft. If that happened against us, I would have threw something at my TV.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Look, if it had been, as somebody wanting a penalty, you can scream and shout it was a penalty, but had that gone against us, I would have been gutted.
You know.
See, that's the thing. I thought it would have been given, even if it was, Romero or VDV, but just the way the action was. But I'm Australian, so don't mind my opinions here. But yeah, it's all good.
Just so you know, you don't have to keep caveating your opinions with your Australian. It doesn't matter whether you're from Timbuktu or from.
I'm from Malaysia.
Australians, being Australian doesn't determine your intelligence.
I pulled a Spursy, I guess.
You know by the way the player reacts. You know. I mean, Madison got up and he went. He wasn't like chasing after. The
I
ref.
agree. I agree with
none of
Mark. But sometimes you need to look at the player's personality as well. Madison is the kind of player he's usually very calm on the field with the decisions. I don't think he's the kind of player.
I'll ask this. Let me
But
ask this, guys.
are we going to agree that? So that means we're all saying that outside the box, all of those 10 yellow cards were all yellow cards, which there wasn't.
11.
So,
I
so what I'm saying is that what I don't like about when you have the commentary and stuff, and they go, "Oh, but if that was outside the box, that would have been a foul." Which 10 yellow cards, which they weren't all fouls.
Yeah.
Which, when you look at it, but they was given. So if that's going to be a foul outside the box, surely that's.
I'll ask this, Mark.
Inside the box.
I'll ask this, and this to Kuva's point. This is somewhere in the middle for me. Penalty for me. Madison just robbed himself by milking it. Now, this is interesting because by the letter of the law, I do feel like he got caught. I think the difficulty was when he got caught, he didn't go down naturally as if somebody had kicked one leg. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody kicks one leg, there's a certain way in which you fall. Problem was he got kicked and then both feet sort of jumped up as if to say, "Oh my God, look at me, I've been shot."
On the movie stuff, theatrical stuff,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the rules. I'll be honest, guys. I've been watching football for 40 years. I just feel like you got to wing it every game. I feel like I don't know what handball is anymore, what's a penalty anymore. I don't know what offside is.
The penalty for me was only the swipe at the leg, not his afterwards actions. It was,
Who was it?
Just the aggression, I guess.
Who was it got shoved in the box? I thought that was more of a penalty than.
Yeah, that's more. That was another one.
I think it was.
Son was shoved.
No.
Sar was
Not
That was weak. That was in the penalty.
It was Sar. Was it Sar got shoved over in the box?
No, Son.
It wasn't Sonny. It definitely.
I didn't see anything in that game that made me think we deserved a penalty. If I'm just for me, I felt that the first point that Elias made was correct. The 12 minutes was. And has said it during the commentary. Commentary is all like with Sky Sports or saying, has said it during the watch along that if Sheffield United go on to lose this game, it will be because of their own play acting.
Yeah,
and they went down at every God-given opportunity, didn't they? Like it was cramped. It was all a bit too much.
Way too much time to walk off the pitch.
That's
I'm shocked.
Benefit.
Sorry, Soren. I'm shocked the keeper didn't get carded earlier. The amount of time he wasted when he had the ball, that was milking. Milking. And they were 1-0 up, by the way. This was when they were leading. And he just kept milking.
Another one. By the way, when the keeper touched the ball, it was a deliberate touch and he should have gotten a red card.
Yeah, that was I was shocked it wasn't a straight red too
Yeah,
because he touched it.
if you remember the
position.
game when we played Vitesse, I think it was like 2 years ago. The keeper made a similar sort of a thing where he was like 1-on-1 and he touched the ball. He got a straight red.
Yeah, he
And
stopped. He stopped an advantage. That's a red card.
Yep,
Surely.
that's a red card. So he did the exact same thing on Kulusevski as well. He should have gotten a red right
The thing
there.
is, the thing is today the ref was shocking. He was
Yeah,
excellent.
I absolutely agree. I thought the officiating, the ref was absolutely shocking.
Yeah. The only thing that
So
got
bad.
12 minutes at the end.
I mean, didn't Liverpool not say
it was
himself
definitely 12
that
minutes.
he's going to be the worst
If he was
officials?
wasting time, he didn't book him. So
Yeah. But don't you think
I
it's
do worry
refreshing?
with all those cards that our next game being Arsenal, are those cards going to affect the team lineup or what?
I can't imagine. I'll be honest. I'll be up. Look, let's move on to Arsenal and let's talk about
No,
that.
I don't think there are any cards that
Getting
are
a bit ahead of myself, but I'm a bit concerned because cards usually mean you're benched, aren't you? If you're on the yellow.
No. So,
Five yellows, you're banned for one game.
Let me
To
just
avoid suspensions, I'm a bit worried about that.
None of our players have that many cards because you need like 3 or 4 cards in like games to be able to even have like that. So 5 cards, yeah. So we don't
I
have.
thought
None of our players
we
have
were on
that
4 or 5 bookings. I thought
We got 6. We got okay. So today, 5. Spurs had 6 bookings today. We had Mickey van der Ven. He'll definitely start. I can tell you that against Arsenal.
Yeah.
James Maddison got booked. I can tell you. I'm not Nostradamus. I think this is just obvious.
If either of those don't start, that'd be a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now,
actually, everyone is starting.
Well, Solomon got a yellow card. I think Solomon's going to be that player that I think will be the easy player for when you want to make changes. I just get the feeling he's going to be that guy. Basuma, he's definitely going to start. And then Perisic and Richarlison were subs. I would fully expect both of them to be on the bench again against Arsenal. But let's move it to Arsenal. Look, it's a big game. We always seem to play Arsenal around this time, sort of the December. Jesus
September.
Christ, it's not Christmas. September. Thank you. Yeah, September. Yeah.
September, yeah.
Don't know why I'm wishing away the months here.
Summer.
So if we've got Arsenal away, it's going to be the biggest test we faced all season. Let's be brutally honest. They are the best team we've played by a country mile. I think that we'll actually be better next week. Now, hear me out before anyone thinks I'm crazy. I think we'll be better because what Arsenal will not do at home is stick 10 men behind the ball. That's not how they play. And that's why I think it's going to be a really, really good end-to-end game, and it's going to be about taking chances. My only worry would be from today, what I saw is taking chances. I still think we're a little light in the forward area in terms of being clinical. Like pure...
I'd play Johnson.
Clinical. So, discuss.
But then Savva, I think after
Johnson over Kulusevski, straight up.
Guys. Four of you all at once jumped in there. Mark D. I think I heard you first.
Yeah, I said what I said was I think as to taking chances, I think Arsenal are a little bit light as well.
Sure.
In the forward line. So that's why I think it's quite. At the moment, on paper, I mean, with the both starts, I think it's going to be now quite an even game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think personally, I think it's got draw written all over it.
No. I would say, sorry.
No, go on, man. Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I agree. There's no way they're gonna park the bus, and I think I'm looking for next week. Son making those through balls down the middle of the field. He didn't show up today. I didn't see him do anything. Son didn't have a really good performance in my eyes. So next week I'm looking if Son can get through the middle. Those through balls going in. I think that would be key. And also, I agree. I wouldn't really change. I wouldn't really change much. I think next week's game, it'll be the real test. I think, though, if you could get a draw at Arsenal, I know I'm getting a little ahead, but if you could get 3 points at Liverpool, surely expectations have to change a little bit, right? I mean, I don't know if we're all there yet, but, I mean, those are the 2 biggest clubs in England and in the Premier League right now, in the table-wise. So I don't know. I think it's to be a draw.
Other than the champions, let's not forget the champions. They're pretty.
Yeah. Well,
I've heard a rumor that they're pretty good as well.
No,
just a rumor.
They're on another level, though. They're on a whole nother level, in my opinion.
I can see it. I can see it being 4-4. I honestly can see it being 4-4. So where is David Bentley?
4-4. Love it. We're going back to David. We're going back to Harry Redknapp, David Bentley, and Aaron Lennon days, are we? Love
Where
it.
is David Bentley from like 45 yards, whatever it was?
Yeah. The thing is against Arsenal, though, Savva, it's one of those games where hopefully every one of our players will be up for it. And it's going to be such a different game that, like you say, it's going to be quite attacking from both sides. So the big thing for next week will be who is the most clinical. And it will suit Son down the middle more because there'll be more room. It will suit our wide players more because there'll be more room. Now, it'll also suit Arsenal because obviously they know that they'll be able to beat our high line a little bit. But look, it's whatever it is, it's going to be exciting. It's not going to be a dull match, is it? It's not going to be dull.
Yeah, because
it's not going to be a 107-minute game.
I suppose.
I mean, as a good, I'm not confident.
Sorry, I didn't hear any of that.
On the pitch next week, you've got to say, really, the best finisher out of both teams on the pitch is probably Son.
Sure,
100%.
Mark, would you? Be, I think that today was always going to be a difficult game for whoever played through the middle, purely because Sheffield United don't leave gaps. We saw it when they played Man City. When they played Man City, they loved the fight with Haaland. They loved it. They were manhandling him. They loved it. Today, I think Sonny got involved a lot. No, I don't blame Sonny for that today. I thought it was really difficult for anyone to pick him out because he's got 3 centre-halves who all camp on their own 6-yard box. Next week against Arsenal, I think Sonny will have a cracker because Arsenal are a top team. And I can't believe I'm being this nice about your boys, Abdi, but they are a top team. And because Arsenal are a top team, they will come. I say they'll come. They're in their own ground. They will play football. By playing football, naturally, you leave yourselves open at the back, right? Everyone does. Man City do. Arsenal do. The Barcelona team, the great Barcelona team for years. I think that is the game where you'll see Maddison's through balls into Sonny. That's where I think he will have a cracker. For me. So I'm critical of someone I need to be. I don't think today was about him. I think today was very difficult to get anybody involved in that penalty box. Just my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I have some pretty serious concerns heading to the North London derby because we've yet to have a convincing performance.
Tell us about your concerns. We love this.
Listen, we've not had a convincing performance all season. Nottingham Forest, we were good in the first half, but completely faded. Palace, Eddie Nketiah should have been more clinical. And yes, the red card was bollocks, but we let Palace have too much control. Fulham at home, if you're 2-1 up at home to Fulham with 10 men, there's no excuse not to win the game.
Shoot.
And Man United, yes, we won, and it's always nice to beat Man United because I can't stand those pricks, but we were very, very close to dropping points. And we could not have argued that we deserved to win. Because yes, we had the chances, but we weren't secure. And going into that derby without Thomas Partey, that's a real problem.
Is Thomas Partey not playing?
No.
Oh, he's injured, isn't he?
He's out.
Yeah, that's a serious concern.
They played PSV before too.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it at PSV?
Yes, they're playing PSV on Thursday.
That's Wednesday night, isn't it? That's Wednesday
night. Sorry,
let's not forget that could be a factor. You never know.
I mean, please don't remind me of Europe. I have PTSD.
I looked. I mean, we talked about this yesterday, and I don't think it's going to be a factor. Only me. The only reason I don't think it will be a factor is I think there's no travel involved. It's Wednesday night. They've then got 4 days until they play us.
Yeah.
I think they'll beat PSV. I don't think they'll have to use a lot of energy. If they were going away and playing Barcelona, Real Madrid on a Wednesday night, and then they had to fly back and they took a beating. But I just think that this is such an intriguing matchup because both teams now, for the first time in 5-6 years, both teams play football. For years, Arsenal have loved playing us because we've been, let's be fair, other than one of the games under Conte where they went down to 10 men, I think we've played into Arsenal's hands. We've sat back and gone, go on, have all the ball. And you can't do that with teams like Arsenal. So I think I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, the good thing about Arsenal next week is they'll believe that they can easily win us, which helps us because they're not going to necessarily, try and mark us out of the game and left, right, and centre. They're going to play their own game, which will help us play our own game. And on the day, hopefully, the best team will win. Sorry, Arsenal. Bye-bye.
Can you remember? Can you remember last year at the Emirates? When we were
unfortunately
2-1 down and Conte made defensive substitutions. You just shut up shop. What sort of nonsense is that?
To be fair, I think it was Emerson had just got himself sent off, so I can sort of understand it.
It's ridiculous. No. You do not go to your enemy and just throw the towel in. You don't do it. I'd have sooner lost 5-1, 6-1. Just have a go at them.
Yeah. And that's the thing, As long as we go there and show we're playing for the badge, we're playing for the fans, we're playing for the team, and we believe rather than just going there and rolling over and let Arsenal rub our belly as they run past us, then I won't say the score's irrelevant.
Do you not like a belly rub, Soren? You don't like a little rub on your belly?
I do, but the problem with my belly is it's so big, it takes too long.
It's not a rub, it's more of a wobble, is it? It's more of a wobble, Mate, I hear you.
If you started wobbling at the beginning of the match, it takes the 95 minutes to stop it. So.
But look, it will be.
I trust that we're going to play to win because I think the way Ange is going to get us to play is to play every game to win and play like it's a cup final or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Ange likes to
I don't
play.
doubt that, Dan.
Yeah,
I don't doubt that we're going to play to win.
One more.
This is a mentality thing for the players. Do they want to play the game like it's the trophy final or something? The mentality. Play to win. It's not easy. I mean, they're football players, so not everyone has that mentality. But I think confidently, based on our current results so far, I think we should beat Arsenal. I'm not saying we'll smash it out of the park. But I think
can I just put a point in, Dan? Can I just put a point in, right?
Yep.
Sure. Listen, bearing in mind, I'm going to caveat this. I think it's always important to caveat, right? As it stands, we have to remember Arsenal still haven't lost a game. Like I know we're all saying, they're not as at their fluent best as they were last year. But let's be honest, they've not lost a game. They've got Everton tomorrow, and listen, I'd love to think Everton will beat them. I've got 3.
I mean, they haven't beat them. They haven't beat them at good.
I mean, we haven't won there since Wenger, and even then, the City Liverpool has cursed Arsenal for some weird reason.
Sorry, I got to go.
Yeah, by the way, Savva, they lost that Everton game, that fixture, I think, last season, right?
Yeah,
Arsenal.
Yeah, 1-0.
Yeah,
Arsenal
they
did. Listen, I'll be really surprised though. I'm looking at this Everton team, and this Everton team for me looks absolutely diabolical. Listen, Abdi, let me come to you as an Arsenal fan. Records. I don't read too much into that sort of thing, but I guess it's there. And your poor record at Everton. If you don't beat Everton tomorrow, I mean, how disappointed will the Arsenal fan base be? And who are we blaming that on?
It depends. I mean, A, the Arsenal fan base are fickle, and B, they rarely hold anyone accountable. So I don't know if they'll actually take it seriously, because I think the way we performed this season, someone's going to give us a rude awakening, whether it's Everton, whether it's Tottenham, because we've got City in October. If we keep playing like that, we'll get sacrificed.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to go 3. I think you'll win 3-0. I do. I look at them, and I do. I look at Everton, and I just see a very, very weak.
I thought you meant us then.
Yeah, I was almost going to have a shot at Savva for a sec there. Hang on, mate.
What, Arsenal 0 Spurs? Can you imagine Arsenal 0 Spurs 3? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
The best thing about Arsenal next week, though, is the loudest noise is somebody dropping the popcorn.
Well, mate, I think it's going to be really interesting because, look, this is I thought Brentford were going to score then. The thing for me, I always say for me because it's only my opinion, is I'm going there more confident than I have for years. Yeah. But I'm also very respectful that this is the second best team in the country.
Arsenal,
on paper, they're the second best team in the country. They're a well-oiled team. Their team has been playing together for longer. And let's be fair, they're going to be up for it. I would think they will be up for it. I would think we will be up for it. I think it'll be a good, high-scoring game. And I think as long as we go there and don't, as Soren said, don't go and get our bellies tickled. All right, mate. Then I'll be happy. But if we do win, there's going to be mad talk, and if we lose, I think people are going to lose their minds. So,
for the reasons that you've just said about everything you've just said, there's no shame about going to Arsenal and losing if the performance is there. The only shame about going to Arsenal and losing is if we roll over. As long as we
didn't
show passion, and it's not a steamroll. If it's another Newcastle, then there's going to be pelters.
Oh, they're going to be partying in North London.
Yeah, exactly. But it won't be the right one, will it?
I told you it's going to be 4-4.
It's
going to be 4-4. It's going to be 4-4, and a final dive on when Aaron Lennon scores the equaliser.
Aaron Lennon.
Yeah, can you remember that? Can you remember that when the final dive and he got ushered off?
Mark, you do know it's not 2010, don't you? You know it's 2023.
Is it?
Aaron Lennon's been long. I mean, it was probably before 2010, wasn't it?
I don't remember what happened.
2008, November 2008.
Yeah, that was so. Redknapp had just taken over the job. I remember it was, because it was the season where we started with 2 points from 8 games, wasn't it?
I'll tell you a true story about that game. I was in a pub with my mate, and my mate's a gooner, and we always had a friendly pint on the game. And at 3-1 to them, I went to the bar and I said, "Oh, you better get in one." And then we scored to make it 3-2. Was it Modric 3-2?
Yeah,
and I said, "Oh, hang on a minute." And then it was 4-4 at the end, so it was happy days. I never had to buy him a beer, which was the first one.
That'd be the perfect type of game again, wouldn't it, next week? If we go in and, if they score, we score, they score, we score, we score, they score. If as long as we can come away and kind of hold our heads up to say, at least we were in the game, or at least we showed passion, at least we showed desire, that's all we can ask for. Like you've said, in theory, it's the second best team in the Premiership. There's no shame in losing to the best teams in the Premiership. Full stop.
Especially away from home. Especially away from home.
We're already it's already against us being away, right? And it's Arsenal away, so it's like, oh my god, But at the end of the day, I'll be happy with the draw as well. So a draw is not a loss. So,
let me ask you now. Let me ask you all now, and actually, let me go for some super chats first, and we are only going to go for another 5 or 6 minutes because I've been streaming since 2:00, and after a while, you do sort of shut down. Super chat. So sorry, Kate. I'm so sorry I missed this earlier. Said, Ange Postecoglou. Listen, I think everyone's falling
That's
in
not
love.
how you say it, Savva. You have to say.
Go on, go for it. I wasn't going to do that live on stream.
Ange Postecoglou.
There's a cool. I get it. I'm just not going to do that live on stream. Big up to you, Kate. Martin Knightsbridge, big up to you, my man. I hope you are well. Has said, let's not kid ourselves. We would have all been happy if given. Yeah, I think we're talking about the penalty decision there. Absolutely. If it's given, it's given. Look, we're football fans. If it's given, we love it. If it's given against us, we never think they're penalties. So listen, that's all football fans. Will, big up Will Stewart in the chat, said, no one has a right to go after you today, Savva. I haven't even read the rest of your comment, but they will, right? They will. Richarlison did nothing from open play, bar the header from a set piece. We would be cussing his actual performance. Let's have it right.
That's fair.
Look, I feel like football fans, look, we all of us are slightly the same in the way that we look at games, and during the game, the emotion, and we say things and blah, 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 blah. For me, I'm not a fan of Richie. I think I've made that very clear. I think everyone knows I'm not a fan of Richarlison. I don't rate him. A goal from a corner doesn't make me change my mind. At the same time, I can say fair play to him after the week he's had, so to speak. Fair play. We needed that goal. We needed the header. But I'm not going to turn around and change my opinion on a player based on a goal. And unfortunately, people do. But listen, it is what it is. What I would add is he did get the assist for the goal as well. But, Will, you know me. I'm not a fan. It's not someone I want to see playing for Spurs, but all the while he is. And if he does...
He's brought on as a substitute to try and score a goal. He's done that.
I agree. Sure.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go at you on this, but he's done the job that we asked him to do. So for once, he was only on for 10, 15 minutes. So he's had 1 goal, 1 assist. What more can we actually ask for him in that point? If it wasn't for him scoring, we would have lost the game.
Do you know what? I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those that for today, for the impact he had, can't knock it. I don't think anyone can knock it. For me, what I don't want to see is him starting games, because there's a difference for me to having an impact versus being the main guy where everything breaks down on. But look, he did his bit today. I still will not. You watch.
If he comes on for say 2 or 3 games and scores and scores and scores, then if Son doesn't score, then he kind of does deserve a start not now, but in...
Yeah, if it's consistent, yes. If it's consistently, he's giving this kind of impact performances, like he comes on for 10 minutes.
I mean, if Son is not doing it, then you've got to kind of change it up. And then
yes, you can say that he deserves a chance. Let's start him there. So then it does bring a point. But right now, I think for it, big him up for this game. But does he deserve to start the next game? I don't know.
No. I think I would call it an impact sub, and he did his job.
Something like what Bergwijn was, like let's say in that Leicester game. Yeah, he did well. We all picked him up, but then next week, would you start Bergwijn again? No, because he's not the kind of player who would put up that kind of performance.
I think sometimes, don't you think? And by the way, is this a goal? Anyone watching the Newcastle game? I don't know if it's been given or not. But anyway, the thing for me is, I think sometimes you've got a player that suits a moment. Right. And let's be fair, chasing a game, loads of balls into the box, corner kicks. Sure. For me, that's a huge difference between starting the player and his footwork not being good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know what we're going to have this week. I know what we're going to have. There's going to be loads of talk about, should Richie play in front of Son up top? My answer all week is going to be categorically no. No, he shouldn't. Son should play through the middle next week. Son should play through the middle for me, unless Richie one day can start showing that he can actually play with his feet. And unfortunately, my opinion is his footwork, everything breaks down on him. But I don't want to go in on him today, because he's come on today and done his job today. So for today, big up, he's done his job. But is that fair?
Congratulations. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's very fair, because, like I said even earlier, he hasn't scored 1 goal with his feet for Tottenham.
Well, he has, but they've been offside.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, that is true.
He took a shirt off more than he has scored.
Yeah. But that's too
intense. Pigeons don't score with their feet, do they?
Yeah.
Do pigeons score?
That's my point. It's off his head.
I think Savva, you're right. You're right on the money. I don't think he could start. I think Son, it's gonna be a different game. Both teams are gonna go for it. You get those through balls to him. He's the best finisher in that. He will be the best finisher in that game. He's one of the best finishers in the world. So I wouldn't start him. But I want to ask one thing. I'm not trying to take over here. I just had a quick question before I kind of log off too. If Tottenham do end up beating Arsenal next week, which probably maybe won't happen, whatever. If they do beat Arsenal, where is everyone's head at? For the future games, and what do you kind of expect? I guess
we're going to win the league, bro.
My head's gonna be nuclear if we lose at home to Tottenham.
I'm going to quote Coover. We're doing the double.
I will need new kidneys. And probably a liver.
If we win Arsenal next week, a lot of us fans are going to be delirious. We are going to think we are unbeatable. And in that moment, you can't blame us. We'll come back down with a bump at some point. Today could have been it. Next week might be it. The week after might be it. We could get thrashed by Liverpool at home at some point. But while we're still doing it, let's just have our moment. That's the thing. For a Tottenham fan, we don't get it very often. So, you can't blame us for getting carried away. I'm sure I'll be the first one. If we win Arsenal next week 3-0, I'll be coming on a stream saying we're winning the league, we'll win European Cup.
We're winning FA Cup. We're even winning Champions League, even though we are not in Champions League.
Antidepressants listening to me. But, it doesn't happen very often for us. So
I just think we need to start thinking differently. If we do end up beating them, then there's I just think the expectation. I don't know. Maybe it's too soon, but
if we lose to Tottenham, next time I go on this show, I'm getting fried.
Look, I think. Do you know what? I think I've been doing this. I've been doing this YouTube game long enough to know, and in general, supporting football long enough to know that opinions come and go. We all change. We all move. We all pivot. Things happen in the day, and you get super psyched, and then you kind of calm down the next day. Look, football's a humbler. We could go to Arsenal and win, right? Yeah. Equally, we could go to Arsenal and lose. Right. And then all of a sudden, all the people that were talking about, oh my God, we're amazing, are going, oh my God, we lost to Arsenal. Then we could go to
and all that.
We're going to be relegated.
Right. And this is the thing. I mean, a couple of examples. So we could beat Arsenal and then everyone will go, oh, we're going to batter Liverpool. Then you lose to Liverpool and it's, right. But the biggest example I can give you of how we are all an emotional bunch, and I don't mean Spurs, I mean football fans, all of us, every football fan in the world, we're all emotional in one way or another. Look at the meltdown about Harry Kane. Look at the meltdown about if Harry Kane goes, there were people talking about relegation. Right?
Yeah.
Serious.
The box office.
There were people talking about.
You can only dream.
There were people talking about where would the goals come from, even though we've scored 13 goals in 13 in 5?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 13 goals. So, yeah.
And listen, I'm not knocking anyone for that because do you know what? I a bit of a vent, not even a vent or a rant. What makes me laugh is it's the people that always think that every opinion they've got is right. We're all right with things and we're all wrong with things, right? So let's just take every. I don't want to be a cliche, but let's take a game at a time. Let's just, for the moment, it's great. 5 games, 4 wins, a draw. Let's tackle it after Arsenal. Let's see. I don't think that game changes anything. Like when people go, what will expectations be if we beat Arsenal versus if we lose? Same thing for me, qualify for Europe.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing for me. If you get 5th, 6th or 7th, great. If you get top 4, the guy deserves a statue. If you get 2nd, what an amazing achievement. Yeah. I'm not going to stop there because you're not going to beat Man City to a title. Right. But let's let these things happen before we like making sort of predictions after 4 or 5 games of a season as to does this result change 30 games time? Does this result? So much will happen in the season. Injuries will kick in, loss of form, suspension. It is what it is. And Newcastle have gone 1-0 up through Callum Wilson.
I will say this, like last year.
Sorry, mate.
Last year, like when Tottenham had an unbeaten start to the season under Antonio Conte, certain fans were talking title race. Like, I don't know if it's deja vu or whether things are different. We'll find out when you lot come to the Emirates.
Those results were not good results. It was not.
Yeah, I think the thing last season, and I know I was one of the guilty ones. We were winning by playing badly, and Savva shouted this at me. So did Alex and Kuba, and I turned around and said, "It can only get better." And he didn't, did it? And, that was the thing.
That is some famous last words.
But this season, you kind of look at it and you think it's a totally different scenario because the football's better. You don't really see it dropping off too much. We know we're going to lose some games. But you kind of think the longer these players play together, the better it should get. Sure. And I'm going to do it again, like I did last year, and say,
do it shamelessly. Do it.
Yeah, look, it's going to get better. The football can only get better. It's not going to get worse unless we get injuries. Unless, 3 or 4 injuries.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the biggest
happen.
concern. Like once you get injuries,
let's enjoy the ride, man. Let's enjoy the ride. Listen, let's enjoy it, guys. Come on. Listen, I'm going to right now. I don't mind.
But I think to Abdi's point, listen, Abdi, I agree with you because I do find it crazy when off the back of 4 or 5 games, fans talk about title challenges. For me,
we ain't winning the league.
No, like my fan base got away with this as well.
Hang on.
We will be top 4.
Yeah. For me, I just think we're all old enough, right? I don't care what age, the youngest age of anyone on this panel, we're all old enough to know how this works. We're all old enough to know that what your form is in September doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be your form between now and May. We all know that there's going to be injuries, not Spurs, any club. We all know there's going to be decisions that go against you, which mean you don't get the 3 points you thought you were going to get.
100%.
We all know that there's going to be a loss of form at some point in the season where you can't win a game for 3 or 4. We all know there's going to be highs and lows, but I think everyone's got a real good right to be optimistic, but whatever your idea of optimism is, I just still think just keep calm. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when I see people talking about title challenges, I do think to myself, we're not learning here, but
no, people going over the top with that.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm comfortable. I think we'll get Europe. I do. I think we'll get Europe, but you've got to keep everyone fit. Got to keep players fit.
When you say Europe, what is that? Top, like Champions League, Europa?
Yeah, so top 5 gets you.
Champions League is probably beyond Tottenham for now.
7 gets you Europa League, yeah.
But Abdi, I'm going to ask you again. When you said Champions League's beyond Tottenham, top 5.
I'm only saying just because it's really close.
Hang on. Let me get to the question. You're saying it's beyond us. Top 5 gets Champions League. Are there we touched on this earlier? 5 better teams right now than Tottenham Hotspur?
I mean,
like Man City are all day long. I'll give you Man City. I think Liverpool and Arsenal are in that top 4 for sure. Right after that, who is overwhelmingly, undeniably better than Tottenham Hotspur?
Nobody.
I got fried for my Newcastle shout, so I'm not going to disrespect this channel by bringing Man United and Chelsea into this conversation.
I mean, listen, those teams can only get better, right? You would think, to quote Soren. But look at Man U. Man U have played 5 games, lost 3 of them, and even the 2 they've won, they looked god-awful. They beat Wolves. They were awful. They beat Forest.
That was daylight robbery.
They beat Forest after going 2-0 down at home, right? We played them off the park. Brighton have beaten them 3-1 in their own back garden today. I'll be honest. I had a bet with someone the other day. I can't even remember who now. That's the mad thing. I had a bet with someone the other day, like £100 for charity, that Spurs would finish above Man U. Nothing I've seen from Man U makes. But when you do that, you're doing that face, Abdi. What is it about Man U?
It's interesting. Like, I'm not like.
What are we worried about from Man U? What is it I'm looking at? I'm meant to be scared of. They play god awful football. Yeah, they look all over the place at the back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm worried about with Man U.
Oh, I'm not worried about Man United. They look awful.
Sorry. I guess I'm naturally a skeptic.
I'm not worried about them or Chelsea.
Why should we be worried about any other team other than Man City? There's no reason for us to be worried about any other team. And there isn't really a reason to be worried about Man City because the expectations we're going to lose. So what's to be worried about them?
I think we also got to be...
Sorry, no, it's fine. On that point, sorry, this is the point where like I'm at the moment. I've said it all along. Savva, you know this. Said it all along. No expectation this year. I'm just going it game by game, and I'm enjoying every single game as it comes. We're going to lose some. We're going to draw some. We're going to win a few as well.
When are we going to lose some?
Enjoy it.
When are we going to
go invincible. Mark, we're going invincible, mate. I'm going invincible.
No, but the thing is
when we took Ange on and then we had a poor pre-season and we lost Harry Kane, everybody's going on about, oh, you haven't had a pre-season.
We're going to get relegated.
You're going to get relegated. You're going to do this. Well, we've kind of shown so far by playing good football. We've dropped 2 points in the Premiership so far. What else could this team have done? We've beaten what's been put in front of us. This is all we can keep doing. As long as we keep doing what we're asked to do, then if any fan thinks we're going to go through the season unbeaten, they're delusional. We're going to lose games, and we're probably going to lose some games very badly. It's how we bounce back, and it's how we play each time we play. If the passion is there, like I keep saying, if the passion's there, there is no reason with this first 11, different if we've got injuries, that we cannot beat any team in this division.
Well, we always beat City.
We have a
and we always beat City. Why? And by the way, we don't always beat City.
At home,
no,
there's a reason why we win against Man City. Sorry.
This is where fans hate us. This is why other club fans hate us. Let's relax. Like when it's City is a given. City is not a given. We've beaten them a few times at our own ground. Let's be brutally honest. City also tore us a new one at their ground in 45 minutes last season.
I wasn't
talking
about that. That was amazing.
No, I'm sure you thought it was, Eddie. But you've got to remember, right? Spurs, for me, I think this will be the year that Man City fancy playing us more than ever.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is under Conte with the 10 men behind the ball.
Yeah,
that's how you beat Man City. 10 men behind the ball, Son, Kane, Kulu on the counter-attack. This year, having the ball, being on the halfway line with the ball, I listen, I'm not saying we can't beat them at all, but I think that they'll be more comfortable than ever playing us. Just my opinion.
I mean, I completely agree, Savva.
We'll give it a go against them. We'll give it a go against them. That's the difference this season.
It's like the Arsenal fans up there. You know, every time they see us to come and play them or whatever, they expect to win. There is going to be a time, might be next week, might be next season, where we go there and we batter them. It will come, and then all of a sudden we'll lose the next 7 or 8 games again against them. But
but I think Soren, even for City, like there has to be a solution as well. Like Ange might play a 4-4-2. It may work out. Who knows?
He won't change his system.
No, he's not changing the way he plays.
There is no shame against Man City. And most of the other teams in the Premiership do, and most teams around Europe do. There is no shame against losing against Man City. The shame will be next week if we lose against Arsenal.
Listen, look, I think, I've been, just me personally, at my age, I've been here, seen it, done this before, where I've seen Spurs have great starts to a season. I've seen Spurs have bad starts to a season. And that doesn't always give an indication of what is to come. Some of the seasons where we've started our worst, we've actually ended really well, i.e.
I've never seen Ange start a bad season.
Well,
just a side point.
If we go back to that season we were talking about earlier with a 4-all, if you remember that season, we had 2 points from 8 games. It was our worst start to a season ever, I believe. And
you lost the hurt to Haaland away to Stoke.
Redknapp just took us like that, right? Yeah. Then you look at other starts to seasons. Look at last season. People are talking about the best Premier League start ever, and then just to go like so. This is why I always think things change like that in football. And I know everyone wants to ride that wave. I know everyone wants to talk about doubles and everyone wants to talk about winning things. And for me, this year, just get back into Europe, play this football. Anything else is a bonus for me.
Isn't the whole point of being a fan of a football team thinking you're invincible and your team cannot lose ever, and you're going to win everything that's put in front of you until you lose? And then part of
that's kind of boring
is taking the banter when you've lost, giving the banter when you've won. And to me, you know, if you're the type of fan that thinks, oh, we're going to lose, what's the point in being the fan of that team? You know, if you can't think that you're going to win every game and enjoy it when you do, and, you know.
Yeah, but that's a bit, I mean, I get it, but I can't go into every single game saying, win. You know, it's just not. It's not honest.
No, but in your heart, you want that, don't you? In your heart, you want to. Yeah,
100%.
You're a lot more down to earth than I am, Savva, and you know, you're the type of person that probably pulls somebody like me down and grounds me a little bit more. But you know, I don't want to go into a game and think, oh, do you know what? I'm not even going to bother watching this because I know we're going to lose. I want to sit there and think, well, we're going to win it until the final whistle. And then when the final whistle goes and you think, oh, we were crap today. That's when you realise you've lost the game. But as a fan, I want to come onto something like this and tell you all that we're going to win every match and then you lot shoot me down if we don't. And that's part of the enjoyment of being a fan of Tottenham Hotspur.
Listen, I agree. Listen, I do want to end the show in a second. Before we do, big super chat there from Tarek. Big up to you, who has said, big up, lads. Not a Spurs fan, but you guys playing a great, sensational ball. Really enjoy to watch. I think more than anything, and I'm not going to start a debate on this because I do need to end the show, but more than anything, I think that's the indictment that we need. It is that other fans of other clubs are saying, can't lie, you guys are good to watch. You had the Liverpool fan who started the beginning of this show who said, I can't lie. He went, you guys are playing good football. I'm worried about playing you. Yeah. And that for me is the biggest indictment as to what Ange has done in 3 months, right? Yeah. That for me. But at the same time, football, there will be a humbling. At some point, there will be a humbling. Yeah. And just keep my feet on the ground. I just hope that it's not next week. If we go there and win next week, I'll be over the bloody moon. Over the moon.
Savva, you're going to be shameless with me. I know that for a fact.
The quadruple is on.
I'm going to have to take it.
No, look, I don't do. Listen, I'm not one of those fans that goes at other fans like that in terms of.
I am. I know what you mean.
No, that's cool.
It's more the banter side.
Sure.
I'm going to roast all my Arsenal mates.
Sure. Listen, I've not said there's anything wrong with that. Just I know that the next game. Listen, that's just who I am. But listen, guys, thank you so much. Perchy, thank you for coming on. Elias, Soren, Dan, Mark, Abdi, thank you to Yuvraj came on. Corey came on. This is going to test me. Mark C came on. Rinketic came on. Yanni came on. If I'm missing somebody, I do apologize. LaPlante, what's his name? Chris maybe came on. Big up. Anyway, thank you to everyone. Steve D putting in the last super chat saying, not given enough love lately. Been busy with work. By the way, love the shirt, Perchy. Steve, thank you for showing the love. And Perchy's shirt is just absolutely phenomenally awful. Like
No, it's not. No. It's
terrible.
It's 80s
Terrible.
terrace culture, my friend. 80s terrace culture, as Steve said. You
So
should know, you better know.
So scary being young and the stuff you can wear and get away with it. That's the sort of thing my great granddad would have worn.
Yeah. Soren, are you having a go at my missus? Because she's
Soren's great
Susie will
granddad.
be in here listening. She won't be happy with
Gertrude,
you.
if you remember, everybody's had a go with. Oh, at your missus. Sorry, not with your missus. Sorry.
Hey!
Oh,
And on that note, on Perchy's bad shirt, do you know what? I've got some corkers in the cupboard, Perchy, but they
Whip
never
them out, whip them out. You've
No,
got to whip
they
them out.
never get
On
seen
stream.
live on stream, mate. Never live on stream. But listen, thanks, guys. Look, great way to end the Saturday. I am gonna order myself. I can't decide between a Chinese and a curry right now.
No, it's
Curry.
chicken nuggets. It's chicken
Curry.
nuggets, isn't it, for you, Savva? You can have 20 of them. You can have
No,
20 of them.
no. But listen,
I tried it.
what, the 40 nuggets?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
it's
tough.
that easy.
I did. No, it's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not.
No, I
It's
did
not.
it, but I was like, Barry, I was not very well.
But listen, I do need to go. Big up. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
Great evening to go to bed as a Spurs fan. We'll be back tomorrow for the Spurs review at 8 p.m. So please look out for that. There will still be shows next week, but I won't be doing shows 3 a day. I'm no longer going to be doing YouTube full time, just to let you know. Circumstances have changed and blah, 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 blah. No one needs to know. But I will not be doing the every day. It's a killer. And yeah, but it is what it is. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Love your
And
content, Savva, and thanks for having us on, mate. Respect, eh?
Yeah,
always welcome, man. Always welcome. We're all Spurs. See you later, guys. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on,
and
boys.
Perchy,
See you guys.
buy some better
Take your
t-shirts.
shirt off.
Don't
I love that retro vibe.